Let's quickly talk about business loans that actually will approve you if you have low income, or even if you don't have income. In some cases, they will approve you. So, in today's conversation, I want to share with you five rare lenders who will take care of you no matter what. Okay. So here is a review I really want you to pay attention to. So number five, we have national funding. Our score 8.8 over 10. So if you're looking for a business loan that can approve you for a business loan that has a low income requirements or no income, National Fund is kind of cool because they're very generous. We love that a lot. Like they will actually look at your overall processes. They'll look at your balance sheet, your income statement, your cash flow statement, and they'll actually try to tailor a loan for you. What we love about national funding also is that they actually will make sure that whatever, like they'll pair you with one of their advisors, and they will give you a loan based on. They have three brackets. They have under a quarter of a million in sales, between 250 and not and less than 1 million, and over 1 million. So depending on the bracket you find yourself in, they'll actually assign a loan for you. So they are pretty generous in terms of the loan they actually approve, and they just need minimum documentation from you. This is really important to really think about there. By the way, boss, welcome back to the show. It's really a pleasure to have you here. And as we actually explore the very interesting topic of business loans with low income or no income, okay? And in some cases that you have no credit check. And the cool thing about a loan from national funding here is that you can actually use it for a constellation of activities, of initiatives. You can actually use the cash to cover capital expenditures like update equipment, improve facilities, and add critical growth elements to your business. Okay, you can use the cash to grow the business itself. I'm talking about purchase and inventory. Okay, supporting marketing efforts on social media or offline. You can open a new location or bring on new team members. Okay, hire more people. You can pay bills. Okay, you can use the cash to pay bills, pay taxes. And you can also pay your suppliers on time. And because if you don't have net 30, because sometimes if you have some kind of shaky balance sheet, some net 30 vendors might actually just, they might avoid your ass altogether. So if you are in a very difficult situation, it's great to have a loan from the likes of national funding. Number four, we have BHG Financial. Our score, 9 over 10. So when we talk about business loans, low income, no documentation, or low documentation, BHG Financial is kind of cool. First of all, if you want to call them up, the number is 1-866-297-4664. What we love about BHG, this is a lender whom we have been researching for a while now. We actually had a couple of transactions with them, with some of our business clients. We love the fact that they're very generous. Like they will approve you up to $500,000. This is really good. But we also love the fact that they will work with you to make sure that all your needs are being met. What do I mean by that? They'll first assign someone to you. That person is not just there to actually answer like very superficial questions. No, superficial questions. They'll actually help you in terms of how you can improve your business loan application. I'm talking about making sure that you have a business plan, and I'm talking about a real business plan, not some kind of a copy paste that you got from the internet. No, they'll make sure that, because BHG has a very strict application process, even though it is a quick approval online, they check everything. Like they can go very, very granular. Okay. And we love that because it shows if you have a lender like this who is very thorough, it tells you that they are very serious, and it tells you that they were very generous too. I just told you they can approve you up to $500,000. Okay. And the cool thing is that you have a very long, very, very long repayment window. You want to guess? Think about it. 12 years. 12 years. I mean, they actually are giving you 12 years, not 20 years, 12 years. This is kind of cool. You can get your cash real fast. Okay. We're talking about funding in as few as 3 days, 2 to 3 days. Oh, this is really wonderful. And so overall, you're not really guaranteeing anything from the personal side. So there's no personal guarantee required at all. And so you also have a constellation of loans from BHD. They do business debt consolidation loans, business opportunity loans. Okay. They do business investment loans. They do a healthcare professional loans. This is kind of cool. And something I need to also mention here is that BHG Financial, they also provide personal loans. So you have personal debt consolidation loans, you have home improvement loans, you have life events loan like marriage or adoption and whatnot. Number 3, we have Clarify Capital. Our score, 9.3 over 10. So when we talk about business loans, low income, Clarify Capital, one thing we love about Clarify Capital is that you just give them a call. If you call them, you start a conversation. This is just fantastic. They are really fast. Okay. So you have like the number is 877-838-3919. What we love about Clarify Capital is that they have an online platform that is really geared towards approving your business loan real fast. Okay. The cool thing here is that they're not going to ask you for a lot of documentation. They're not going to ask you for bank statements, proof of assets, tax returns, balance sheet, income verification, and more. No, they go straight to the point. And sometimes they'll just ask you for one or two sort of forms. It's all about you actually providing those forms. For example, they ask you for your cash flow statements. That's it. Because through the cash flow statements, they can actually verify whether or not your business is generating enough revenue, enough cash to repay whatever loan you're applying for, right? Because, you know, when you really think about it, a lot of lenders, they just sort of get mired in the what we call the like a confluence of documentation. Like they want to have this, they want to have that, they want to have everything. Even though you could just look at one type of financial report, I just give you the example of a cash flow statement, and you have everything. You have all the information you're looking for. Okay, so this is one thing that Clarify does really well. They actually they have become masters at just studying the financial statements of their applicants. And the cool thing about Clarify Capital is that you can use the loan for a lot of things. You can use the loan for a short term, like as a short term loan. You can use it as a low doc equipment financing arrangement. You can do business cash advance. You can do a no doc business on a credit. So you do have a constellation of options with Clarify Capital, and we're talking here all the way to $1 million. Okay, a lot of industries are like involved. They do retail, they do restaurants and bars, they do construction, they do automotive, they do medical, they do technology, they do trucking and transportation. They do professional services, they do manufacturing. So this is kind of cool. Fantastic. Okay, so Clarify Capital, 9.3 over 10. Number 2 we have here, QuickBridge, our score, 9.6 over 10. So when you think about QuickBridge, I want you to think about the fact that you have a lender who is really who will work with you no matter the stage you currently are at. So whether you're a startup, an established business, or anything in between, QuickBridge will be there for you. Okay. They actually, what we love here is that they actually will give you cash to do a lot of stuff. Like they'll give you cash to cover day-to-day expenses. We're talking about business operations, employee payroll, inventory financing. This is really cool. Okay. So that's for day-to-day. And so basically the bottom line here is that you will have sufficient cash flow to actually take care of everyday like things like when you really think about it, if you can't cover payroll, think about the stress. Like you cannot do anything. You have to really just stop everything and just focus on how to generate extra cash to just make payroll. Okay. So QuickBridge kind of helps you, like they really help you avoid that kind of stress. By the way, boss, I want to quickly remind you that we're having a conversation today about business loans with low income, no documentation, fast approval. Okay, I'm just sharing with you 5 rare gems that you might want to actually check out to see if one of them can actually correspond to your desires in terms of your funding needs. Okay, so QuickBridge also helps you. So besides covering day-to-day expenses, they also help you have they give you the cash to have strategic investment. What we love about QuickBridge here is that they have an in-house team that knows a lot about the industries they invest in. So for instance, if you are in restaurants or you are in big pharma, or not pharma, you are in healthcare and you want to get a loan from QuickBridge, they'll actually study. They have a staff They have personnel on staff, personnel in-house that will actually who will actually study the project and see whether or not, based on their experience, your project is bankable, your project is loanable. In other words, there is profit potential here. What we love about QuickBridge is that you have a simple application process. You can receive funds within days, 2 to 3 days, or 6 to 7 days, and you have business loans up to $500,000, and there are no hidden fees. So we love that a lot. And one thing I also want to say here is that with QuickBridge, you actually have a team behind you. They'll assign somebody to you, and that person can actually answer all questions that you have, so that in the end, you are getting the best of the best. Okay. And so fantastic. QuickBridge, our score 9.6 over 10. Number one, the best of the best. In our view, when it comes to business loans, low income, no doc, low doc, our score, biz to credit. So biz to credit is our number one, our score, 9.8 over 10. So when you think about biz to credit, I want you to think about a lender who's really fast. Okay, you can actually get approved for anything between $25,000 to guess what, $6 million. Think about it, $6 million. That's kind of crazy. That's really cool. Okay, and you can apply in 4 or 5 minutes. You can get your loan real fast. You get a decision as fast as 24 hours. Okay, you get funded as fast as 72 hours. Everything goes real fast. So biz to credit. So basically, their entire model is around speed, celerity. Okay, you get your cash real fast, so you can actually go back to work. And basically, a biz to credit has they have different types of business loans. Like you have business capital. They have working capital. They have term loans, so business term loans. They have CRE loans, so this is commercial real estate loans. Okay, so no matter what, biz to credit got your back. Okay, for whatever business you run. So the industry is really neutral here. Okay, there are industry neutral, sector neutral, if you want to call it that way. And obviously, the $6 million that I spoke about earlier is not going to be working capital unless you are a solid company, right? If you are a solid company, then you get that. But if you are just like a regular company or mid-size or small business, you probably will have anything from 25 grand all the way to $500,000. That's for working capital. For term loans, you're going to get somewhere from $100,000 to $500,000. Okay, you have to pay this back in 3 years, 36 months. For the first one, the working capital is this is more like a business line of credit. Okay, so you tap into it, you pay it, you tap into it, you pay it back. Okay, and then for the CRE loan, the commercial real estate loan, that's when you have about it goes all the way to $6 million. Okay. Let me give you an overview before we actually close to this conversation. I want to quickly talk about business loans with low income, no doc, low doc. Okay, it's very important to understand that if you want to optimize your loan application process, you want to actually increase your chances of getting the business loan that you need. No matter what industry you're in, no matter what credit score you have, either personal or business, you got to be in a situation where you have a plan. Okay, you need to have a formula for success. A formula for success, boss. This is really important. And you need to always know what lenders are looking for, because you got to really be clear about, okay, they want time in business. Is it 6 months, 3 months, or what? What do they want in terms of credit score? What are they looking for in terms of a business credit score? So personal credit score, business credit score. What are they looking for in terms of cash flow? Okay. And cash flow, we're talking about cash inflow and cash outflow. Because a lot of times some entrepreneurs, they believe that cash flow just means cash inflows. No, because the lender is looking for, is also looking at the cash that's leaving your business, not just the cash that's coming in. It's like if you asking someone, how much you making? Well, I'm making $250,000 a year. Okay. But if you have no idea of that person's expenses, you'll think they're making money, or you think they're financially stable, right? But what if they told you, I'm making $250,000 every month, every year, but I'm spending $230,000 on various expenses, or I'm spending even more than that. I'm spending more than I'm making. Like I'm spending $500,000. Then that person is leveraged. That person has too much debt, right? If something were to happen to that person, they're just toast. So they also want to pay attention to your collateral. So this is important. You also need to think about the industry, okay? And you need to decide what type of loan or financing you need. This is important. Do you want an SBA loan, a traditional bank loan? Do you want a micro loan? Do you want an online loan? Okay, do you want a line of credit instead of a loan? Do you want a business cash advance? Do you want a cash flow loan? So you got to be really clear, okay? And maybe in some cases, you might want to think about vendor financing, okay? And also think about how to always, how to get approved, because a lot of those lenders that I just shared with you, that I just shared information with, information on them with you, they love to have, they have a pre-qualification process. So you're not getting a hard pull right away. You're getting a soft pull, and based on the soft pull, and if you love whatever information they give you, you can be like, okay, you know what, I'll go with this. I'll go with this proposition anyway. I don't have any choice. The next thing I want you to do here is to actually gather documents. Okay, so you want to gather your documents. Even though I said no doc or low doc, you still need some kind of documentation, because listen, there's no free lunch. I mean, somebody's giving you money and you're not giving anything back anything in return. It doesn't make sense, right? So when people tell you no doc, low, I mean, there has to be something. If you like a true no documentation loan, it has to be something like equipment financing. So basically, you're not providing anything about your business, but the lender knows that they have the title to your equipment. They have the title to your machinery. They have the title to whatever asset you have pledged in collateral, so that something were to happen, they will actually just sell the asset and just recover their cash. Okay, and then you want to choose a lender. So I gave you a constellation of lenders into this conversation. It's up to you to choose which one works for you. Because when we talk about choosing lenders, you have to think about lending marketplaces. You have P2P, peer-to-peer lending. Okay, you got to think about direct lenders, for example. Okay, and this is really important. And then you have to fill out the application. So filling out the application is really important in terms of like working with the lender, working with the loan rep. Answering all their questions, asking questions too, so that you are on the same page. Because the bottom line here is you want to be on the same page, right? Because you don't want to have a loan whereby they're just dictating stuff to you. You just have to prepare everything and send it to them, but you have no idea what you're getting yourself into. You want this to be a back and forth, okay? And it's really important to understand that when we talk about filling out the application, this can happen actually online, because all those 5 players that I just shared with you into this conversation, they're not your traditional brick and mortar bank. No, they're not. And nor do they want to be, because they are actually serving they're serving a specific segment of the population, of the business population. Okay. And so you got to ask yourself, am I better off going to a bank? If you don't qualify, I mean, at a bank, you're not going to have anything, no doc anyway. But if you're comfortable providing tons of documentation, then a bank might be your best bet. You also need to think about whether or not you are able to provide that information quickly, because I think some of those lenders that I shared with you into this conversation, they don't ask too much information. They'll probably just have 1 or 2. But if you were to go to a bank or a credit union, the documentary evidence will be higher, will be much more. As long as you're comfortable to actually provide that much evidence, that much paperwork, then you're really good to go. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. In today's conversation, I was just talking to you about, I was sharing with you the top 5 business loans, low income, no documentation, like low documentation. And before we actually do a recap here, please check out our loan evaluation approach. We have a system in place that's very methodical, very rigorous when it comes to evaluating, categorizing, and listing business loans. Check this out. All right, let's quickly do a recap here. Number 1, we have Biz to Credit, 9.8 over 10. Number 2, we have Quick Bridge, 9.6 over 10. Number 3, we have here Clarify Capital 9.3 over 10. Number 4, we have here BHG Financial 9 over 10. Number 5, we have National Funding, our score 8.8 over 10. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. God bless you. I'll see you another time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.